Okay. So far I haven't seen this video. I avoided it on purpose because I wanted to make a video, and here we are. It took me about 3 days to set a stream up. So yeah, let's have a look.
I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about time for our first major content update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect.
Nice.
Now, in today's stream, we're going to take you on a deep dive into the new Dawn of the Hunt update.
So, a new class, new ascendancies, character system improvement. I'm very much looking forward to that. Endgame improvements. I'm so casual that basically doesn't matter to me. New endgame content. I'm so casual that almost doesn't matter to me. So that's that.
We'll cover a new class, 5 new ascendancy classes, and huge expansions on character systems like unique items and support gems. After that, it's on to the in-game improvements, including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content. We're going to
New epics are always great. No, epics. Uniques, they are always great. New ones are always good.
finish up today with a live
More
Q&A
is better.
session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. Now, we have a lot to cover today, so let's get started with a trailer for Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt.
We as Mary are guided by the Spirit. It provides prey, shelter, even love. But for me, one day, all that were changed. The Spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden. And to defend all of it, I used it. I lost everything that day. But fate weren't finished with me yet. I'll right the wrongs I've done. I'll do what I must. No matter the cost.
Sorry for the bad audio in the video, but that's not on my side. On another note, I think this looks great. Especially because in Path of Exile 1, we didn't have anything like that. Like actual, basically cutscenes in engine. That's something very new to Path of Exile 2, and I really like this. I hope we will see a lot more of that. Not only during the beta, but also after. Like, maybe even each new league. That would be quite good and very interesting to see what they can come up with.
I will hear the Spirit once more.
Yeah, again, the audio is really messed up. I have no idea why. It should be good, but yeah, it's not. But the visuals are really appealing. This looks really interesting.
I shall pay to your blood.
New maps. Ooh, nice. I really look forward to playing this. I don't know if I will play it on stream because I'm too focused on the actual game. So it's not really interesting to watch me stream it because I basically
As you can see,
don't
in Dawn
say
of
a
the Hunt, we're
word.
introducing the first new class since early access to PoE 2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village.
Interesting is that we have new weapon, but what I'm looking for is how are the other classes able to interact with that weapon? You know what I mean? Like a witch using a spear might be quite interesting.
As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle. Spears
Yeah, I
have
will
extended
go
range
mostly
and
for
a short dash, but unlike other melee
ranged.
weapons, you can also throw them. In order to make a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the
Nice.
whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used,
Wait,
the bigger
leaving
the
it?
whirlwind and the bigger the explosion.
Ooh. Oh, this is great.
Once you're out of there, you'll want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes. These twisters bounce off walls and can hit enemies multiple times.
I bet that that is
You
physical
can also throw
damage.
twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do way more damage.
Ooh.
In her offhand, the Huntress will usually want to hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill, Parry.
That thing is
While
new.
holding down Parry, your character will counterattack any incoming attack from monsters near you, stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike.
Oh,
Some
this is
specific
great.
skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy though, it causes an explosion and gives you a frenzy charge.
Oh, this looks fun.
Just be careful. If you parry too much, you're going to get stunned and possibly killed.
Well, yeah.
You can combine this combo with Whirling Slash. Slash, parry, disengage, and you'll get an explosion from the disengage and the Whirling Slash. The Huntress also has a
Now
variety of
combine
elemental
that
spear
with
throw attacks.
heralds.
You could use Lightning Spear to bounce lightning between your foes. Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast.
That is
All spear
neat.
throws on the Huntress can also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground.
Oh,
And these
so
empowered
nice.
versions can activate even more combos. Using Whirling Slash over ground fire will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes as well.
Oh, God.
And you can do similar combos with ice.
This is
And lightning
amazing.
Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes
Oh.
by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your target and unleashes a deadly slash, opening up wounds on your enemies. Follow up with Disengage and watch them bleed out as they run towards you.
I'm so playing that class.
On the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced, and the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this. For example, using
Ooh.
Blood Hunt will thrust forward and cause a bloody explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion. If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your enemy for a big bleed.
Jesus.
Now, Explosive Spear and Rapid Assault both result in leaving spears behind, either in the ground or in enemies. But there are other skills that leave spears around too, like
Oh,
Storm
great.
Lance, that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies. What can you do with all these spears?
Oh,
Detonate them,
Jesus.
of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to
This
jump
is
onto
so
and explode
cool.
any spears, either in the ground or in your enemies. Now, as well as hunting animals, the Huntress also has the ability to work with them. While fighting
Oh,
any
God.
beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion. You can only have one companion at a time, but it will keep the mods that were on it.
Oh,
Try to
this is
find
so
a
cool.
rare beast with good mods to take full advantage of
Oh
your
my
ability to
god.
tame it.
This is amazing.
Now, this is just the beginning of the Huntress. We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy
Wait a
between
moment.
ranged and melee options.
Does it mean if I get enough spirit, I can, in addition to that minion, also get an, oh, how are they called? A Spectre? So I would have more than one minion. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, this is so good. I think I'm in love. I'm in love with this game again. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is so good.
There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By endgame, you'll be slaying hundreds of insanely powerful spears, sending forth spirit animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky. But we still haven't talked about ascendancy classes yet. What can the Huntress ascend into?
Give it to me,
Well,
come on.
the first ascension class you could choose is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and plague. The Corrupted Life Force skill causes all enemies around you to grow volatile blood boils on their skin. When those enemies are slain, the boils will burst, spreading corrupted blood to all enemies around them.
That's
The
cool.
Ritualist also excels in taking advantage of magical trinkets. The Unfurled Finger skill allows you
Wait,
to equip
what?
an additional ring on a finger around your neck.
Oh my god.
Taking Mystic Attunement increases the
This is
bonuses
so
of all the
great.
rings and amulets you have equipped. Now, this is one of my favorites. As the Whisper's Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood, to give you one of their modifiers for a short time.
This is insane.
Specialize further into Ritualistic Sacrifice with As the Whisper's Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself.
This is so cool.
The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important Asmeri elders, the Amazon will use more traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see
That's
those weak
nice.
spots represented on their life bars. While using Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact. The Critical Strike skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance.
Ooh.
Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life, and as Mary Brew to be able to use either flask to restore both life and mana.
Oh Jesus, that's
So those
strong.
are the two new ascendancies
That's
for the
really
Huntress.
strong.
But those are not the only ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt. We've added a new ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too. First up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle.
I don't really
After
care
doing
about
so,
that
your
class,
attacks will release
so this
explosions on
is
hit for
kind of
maximum
boring for me.
devastation. You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you.
Okay, that's
A
cool.
great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon, though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now, you might think this ascendancy class tree looks a
Wait,
little
what?
abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right? Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points.
Huh.
If you
That's
want your body
interesting.
armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're
75
crafting your
fire-
own body armor, just
what?
in a more literal sense.
Oh my god.
Now, let's move on to those who prefer
That's
the reassuring
really
feel of a
strong.
crossbow in their hands, the Mercenary. Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the
I wonder if you can take multiple choices with the body armor crafting. That would be even more interesting. Hypothetical. You get 6 points, you spend 2. You would have 4 possible options? If it's possible. If I've seen there's a Q&A out. That's 2 hours. I haven't watched it. So if that question is answered there, then I don't know yet. But yeah, it's actually interesting. Now I'm actually curious about that class.
Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like suppressing fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the right where we want them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to freeze. With a soldier's training, the Tactician also works well cooperatively. Using the whoever pays best notable, you can place multiple banners at once. The Watch How We Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well.
Nice.
But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows.
How awesome
Finally,
is that?
Witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class. The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The Crystalline Phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage.
Cool.
Rupture the Soul makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage when slain.
Ooh.
Dominion over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse. It's safe to say you'll be the true master of the occult by choosing the Lich class. So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and
Looks
5 new
interesting.
extension classes, but it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now you may remember we've previously talked about the Raised Spectre skill. It's finally complete, and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the occult skills on the skill gem crafting panel.
Ooh,
Raised
nice.
Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game, which you can then summon in the skill panel.
Really nice.
Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die, but the spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters.
Yeah, I
You can
think
combine them with their existing skeleton minions,
that's what most people
or
will
summon
do.
exclusively
A
spectres.
few
It's all up to
strong
you and how you want
monsters.
to customize your army of the undead. Given that there are hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best. Now let's move on to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill. Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though.
Interesting here. They say mount a rower. Mount a rower is a general skill now. They said last year and before that it's specific to the Huntress. So this is a change and actually a welcome one. I'm now really curious how this will play out with the other characters. Like, I don't know, warrior riding a rower into a fight? I don't know how great or shit it will be, but it's interesting. Oh my god, necromancer on the rower. Oh god, no. This is insane. This game gets better and better with every big patch. It's great. I love it.
If you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed.
It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here.
Okay.
To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems. Hema crystals will enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive vile crystals. Alignment is a support gem for bow
Oh my
attacks,
God.
which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling
Wait,
spears
what?
through their ranks.
Oh my
But there's
god.
plenty more for every playstyle, such as enormity, unsteady tempo,
Wait. We go back. We go back. What does that do?
every playstyle, such as enormity,
Minions from supported skills have 20% increased size. Okay. Minions from supported skills do 20% more damage. Minions from supported skills have 20% more maximum life. Oh my god. This is basically ideal for tanks. I mean, they block all the enemies, they do more damage, and they have more life? That's insane. Add on top the other plus life support skill, that it's getting quite insane. This is nice. This is insane. This is good.
unsteady tempo,
Hobble.
profanity,
Old streamers use that. Ooh. Wait.
syzygy. Yep, that's a real word.
Supported skills deal up to 40% more attack damage, scaling up as your stun bar increases. This is very interesting. This will work great for tanky builds, like really great. Darth Microtransaction will love this one.
Syzygy. Yep, that's a real word.
Nice.
And many more.
Yeah, a lot more.
Now, we've talked about a new class, new ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items.
Yeah,
To start
this is
with, let's
great.
talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items. This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and end-game tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher-level characters. Let's look at some examples. Embrace your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based on your block chance. Becoming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 Elemental Herald skills.
Oh
without
god, this is
costing
so
any
good.
spirit. At the same time, it penalizes enemy resistances.
Oh,
Waste Gate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic or Archmage builds. With this belt, you
nice.
can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you. Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover.
And they look good.
Suffice to say, though, we want there to be way more cool
This looks
things to find.
nice.
Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game.
Nice.
Given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through the end game as well. One
Of
example
course.
is Scyther's Spear, which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more
Jesus.
damage. We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics. Calgyra's Arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance. And we're also adding our first unique charms. Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova whenever you do get ignite.
In
Cool.
sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it.
Now, we
Yeah,
also
this
want to
will be
talk about
amazing.
crafting options. In each major update during early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention the changes to runes. Runes add commonly available mods, but since
Okay.
they only have one tier, flat damage mods tend to be
Yes,
outclassed by
finally
in-game.
two tier,
So we've
three
changed runes
tiers.
to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before.
Our plan is to significantly expand the number
This is
of more
great.
specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time. And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next.
In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Asmarian wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame.
Okay.
The Asmari spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Asmari hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters. Any
Yeah,
monsters
this
it comes
is-
into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Asmari culture.
So this is kind of a redo of a league that came out last year or the year before that, where they introduced how was it called? Something woods. Where they had wisps that you had to collect, and bosses and all of that. Of course, bosses. Why wouldn't they have bosses, right? I mean, it's Path of Exile, of course, bosses. But I think this is basically that league, but improved. I guess that basically fits that league, but improved.
This one is a wisp of the Great Bear and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods. As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability. Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury. If you're able to
Nice.
defeat this foe, you will be rewarded.
I like
Each
this.
monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased.
Oh,
Each
this is
wisp has
great.
its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host.
This is cool.
The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like
I
the
bet
Wisp
they
of the
can.
Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses.
This is great. This is awesome.
Asmarian wisps can drop a new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new mods onto your items. Each one may only be used on a specific item slot.
Gain one range
As
and melee
mentioned,
hit. Ooh,
the
nice.
Asmarian wisps can be encountered throughout the game. But there's also a new endgame map called the Asmari Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmari once lived, now overrun with corrupt monsters.
Nice. Can we have
This
that
map
as
always has multiple Asmarian wisps in it, and familiar,
a
but not
hideout?
quite the same boss fight.
I hope so.
Asmarian wisps can also be further modified by the endgame atlas tree as well, and by tablets.
But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in in-game, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi,
Mark,
I'm Mark
yeah.
Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in. Path of Exile 2's early access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work. After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes. The first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt,
Okay.
we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you
Okay.
explore the endgame.
Sounds
And
good.
the
Sounds
second
very
goal is
good.
to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with,
Sounds
let's
very
talk
good.
about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps.
Well, yeah.
As well as the Asmari Ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps.
Ooh,
all
that's
with their own
nice.
custom encounters. Let's start with this one. The Feral Megaliths map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress,
You know what's interesting? They now call them maps too. They don't have a specific name anymore. They are now maps, just like in Path of Exile 1. I wonder why. I wonder why that is.
through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy. After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss.
This is
You
cool.
must fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another.
Wait,
And
what?
another. And another. And another. You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult.
This
If you
is
manage to defeat
great.
them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes. These
This
can
is
only be
amazing.
obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects.
Yeah,
As you
just
move
like
around the map, the
in
terrain
Path of Exile
itself
1.
elevates from below,
We know this already.
creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so
Oh,
you're
it's a
always
unique
fighting
map.
two of the
Okay.
same rare at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it. The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other. The last
Okay.
unique map we'll show today is one based
That's
around the
interesting.
essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center. It is surrounded by many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they held will be upgraded to a greater essence, and
Cool.
be added to the imprisoned map boss.
This is
How
nice.
brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice. Speaking of
This
essences,
is cool.
alongside visual improvements, you're now able to apply Varlorbs to corrupt the essences
Nice.
with a range of unpredictable outcomes.
This is
It
great.
could increase the number of essences, re-roll all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences. What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too. We have four
Of
new
course it can.
corrupted essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity. Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example, the essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around it.
Okay.
Each of these has their own crafting outcomes. The essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Varlorb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments. It's worth noting all the essences in the unique map can also be corrupted too, if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
Nice.
Now, new maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content, and that it could be lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run.
That
On
is
your travels,
interesting.
you will sometimes encounter rogue exiles. Others like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile. Some are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death.
Wait,
They
is
use
that
the same
volcanic
skills available
fissure?
to players, and even the same items. They aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually
It looks
using
like it.
It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation. Of course, if you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground. So if you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them. Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped with. These exiles
This is
are much
cool.
smarter than your regular monster. They have capabilities to dodge roll, avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay. Fortunately, they're like you and they're not super durable.
This is very interesting because they are definitely more interesting than Rogue Exiles in Path of Exile 1. They were, in the first game, they were basically just, yeah, you just run over them and then that's it. But here they seem to be actually be quite tanky and have actual great abilities. This is quite interesting. Looks fun.
Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Helm's Heart, in which case, expect a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat. Another encounter you might stumble onto in Dawn of the Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes. Strongboxes are chests with modifiers. When you try to open them, they activate traps and spawn waves of monsters that you must defeat to access the loot. Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find and behave just a little bit differently. The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox comes with a modifier which determines how many times it will revive that rare.
Wait, what?
Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster.
This
With
is
each
amazing.
resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding. This Strongbox is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient Foul technology. Eshel's Torment has a powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by Chaos itself.
Oh, Jesus.
Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item, with a specific corrupted elk. You'll have to find the other
Wow.
2 for yourself, to see what they do.
They look cool.
Now, let's talk
I
about
like the design.
introduction to the endgame. Upon starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps. We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting. Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective. On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast.
Okay.
In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction.
And I
In
guess
the
we
areas
have to
leading
clear
up to
them.
the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work on improving these monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps to make them more interesting and more rewarding. Once you reach the nexus, you will have a new task.
Oh god.
Cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3
This looks
terrifying
cool.
bosses, amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree.
My question
The
is, can I
upgrade system
revive
that
that
allows you to
monster?
add and enhance content in your maps. We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss, and their own set of modifiers and rewards, including finding fracturing orbs by slaying cleansed enemies. These orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become fractured. A fractured modifier is one
Jesus.
that cannot be modified by any means. You are able
Plus
to
3
freely
levels to
modify
all
the
minion
item,
skills.
ensuring the fractured
Oh god.
modifier will never change. If you get the right item with the right mod, it can prove to be a very powerful crafting base indeed. You must now choose. Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed. Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess. Now,
Well, fundamentally, that doesn't matter because the Atlas is endless, so you can just go. I mean, you can just do whatever. It might take longer, but you can just go and do whatever you want. That's basically it.
let's have a talk about towers. One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the busy
Oh.
work around running towers and managing your tablets.
Okay.
The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers drastically. So there are now 1/3 as many as before, but we've made them much more powerful.
Okay, that's good.
To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics.
That's
That's
nice.
not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets. By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single
Ooh.
tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before.
4 times.
So, we're running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But because there were fewer towers over...
Look at that gear. That looks so nice. Just from the design, this looks really nice. I want to see that in game.
lapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a 2nd or 3rd slot. Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers, while drastically reducing the amount of busy work you have to do. On top of that, towers are much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including
nice.
bosses. Each tower map
Even
has
better.
a new boss. Let's take a look at a couple here. The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory.
Okay.
One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither. The boss of the Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with lightning. It uses a full suite of lightning abilities. But be
Okay.
careful. If any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up. Another thing that
Oh,
we've seen a lot of
okay.
feedback about is sustaining waystones. As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot. A lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something. During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges. You are able to learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them.
Okay.
But as soon as you get to the endgame, you are effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain waystones. By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it certainly shouldn't be that we have such a sudden shift as you run your first maps. The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die,
Nice. This is great.
continuing from where you left off. When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map. As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down. This
Ah.
means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful.
This makes sense. And is
In
neat.
parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times. But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time.
Ah, okay.
Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting
That's
to do the pinnacle
understandable.
content because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either.
Ooh, that is nice. That is
Dawn of the Hunt
that is
also
a
brings
great
the first batch of Twilight
change.
Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items. For example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht. We're also making a change that allows Pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find.
Okay.
This applies to the drop charges for the reliquary keys from this content as well. We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique tablets.
I don't really get what the before this was all about, because I'm just too casual. But okay.
Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example, this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections, which can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around.
This is massive.
And this tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens all expedition
Holy
monsters that
cow.
emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics there, and improvements to existing ones too.
Nice. Yeah, okay.
Now, through this live stream, we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods, and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about. Recombination. Expedition was the
Okay.
only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players. It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item. This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition, and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it. The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost.
Okay.
That wraps up all the major in-game
Sounds
changes
good.
we're talking about today.
More
With all the
crafting.
system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is
Yes.
one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing Early Access League, so you can play your existing characters.
Oh.
However, there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy. It is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.
Yeah, I think I will do that.
For all our existing Early Access players, we're really looking forward to joining you playing in this new update. For those who don't already have access and are
Okay,
interested
that's
in
it.
playing Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, you are able to at any time purchase an Early Access supporter pack at www.path.
So what do I think? So far I'm really impressed. Like, this looks like it will be a lot of fun. I'm not sure what character I will play. I'm very intrigued by Huntress, but I also want to play a Necromancer. Mini will looks like would be a really great idea. Maybe I can do that with the Huntress. Huntress minion build. Like, I will do that with the Spectress and the Huntress specific ability. That could work. Should work. I just have to handle the spirit costs. But aside of that, yeah, should be possible. So yeah, looks good. I'm looking forward to playing it. I don't know if I will stream it. Like I said, when I play a game, I'm all in on the game, and yeah, that's talking even less than during the reaction. So yeah, we will see how this will go. So that's it for today. Bye.